Hey, my name is Sarah, and as you can see, I'm in my car. Yes, people, today I'm doing something a little different. We have a adventure going on. We have a main quest and a side quest, and that is because I am going up to Austin. Yes, I got a tank full of gas, I got my Starbucks ready, I got my bag packed, and this is on the list. For the side quest, I am going to the Austin Kinokuniya to see what they have down there. And for the main mission, the ranked SS mission, is because I'm going to Austin for the Xiran Zhao book signing, people. Yay! So right now it is 9:36. I wanted to be on the road at 10, leaving ahead of schedule. That is good. So yeah, let's head up to Austin and go have some fun, people. Yeah.
My first time here.
Oh, there's already a full house. So as you can see, there's like a lot of people here already, and the event's about to start in I think 10 minutes. Either way, I got my book, I got my other one in my bag for the signing, and I so can't wait!
Thank you all for coming out tonight to celebrate Xiran Zhao and their new book, Xiran and the Dragon Emperor. Just so you all know, towards the end of the event, there will be time for an audience Q&A, followed by a book signing. The book signing will take place over there, but we ask that you all line up this way. We also will have copies of the Iron Widow series downstairs, so if you want to go down after the event and purchase the book, they are pre-signed, but you can feel free to come back upstairs and get them personalized. And about tonight's guest, Xiran Zhao is the number one New York Times bestseller and author of the Iron Widow series, a first-gen Wei Chinese immigrant from small-town China to Vancouver, Canada. They were raised by the internet and made the inexplicable decision to leave their biochem degree in the dust to write books and make educational content instead. You can find them at Xiran Zhao on Twitter for memes, Instagram for cosplays and fancy outfits, TikTok for fun, short videos, and YouTube for long videos about Chinese history and culture. Xiran and the Dragon Empire is their first middle grade novel. Give it up. No, you're coming down here.
Okay. It's a bit weird to do this from the stairs, but yeah, I thought it was supposed to be up there, and then it's like, is this thing even on? It is. And I was like, oh, look at here, welcome to my launch of my book. Here's the difference. Actress to Broadway's biggest stage. He said that in a joking way, but still, I was like, yeah, I know. But it's okay. He doesn't spend too much time in Maine, and most of this book does take place in China, which I know a lot better than Maine. So I hope that it'll be fun to read about. But I do have to say that this takes place in the near future. And it's like a better near future where a lot of regulations in China have relaxed because, things over there change overnight. Things over there just change overnight. Because when I started reading the book, it was fine for kids to play video games. And then after this book sold and while it was being edited, suddenly China was like, okay, now every kid under age 18 can only play video games for 1 hour per day between the precise time of 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I was like, oh no, so much of my book doesn't make sense anymore. So I had to put in a disclaimer at the beginning being like, yeah, this is a near future, and I'm sorry, this is no longer, it's impossible to make it like an authentic representation of modern China because regulations just change so fast. And I don't even remember if I put in my edit of oh yeah, he was instrumental to getting the video game ban overturned. I don't remember what I was in. I'm sorry. So that's just that's what frustrates me about modern China. Like Zach, I have a very complicated relationship with my heritage because I want to find pride in it. And after coming to Canada, I faced a lot of microaggressions and just like things that I didn't even know were racism, because I was the only Asian kid in this like all-white school in this tiny Canadian town, and then people will ask me, so I heard that Chinese people name their kids by throwing pots and pans down the stairs. How come your name doesn't sound like that? So how did your parents get Jasmine from that? And I didn't even know how to answer them. I was like, my parents didn't name me that way. And well, yeah, my name was Jasmine then. So like that was the kind of thing that I didn't even realize was racism, right? And finding pride in my heritage was pretty key in getting me to, just to get over that and to unpack that aspect of my identity. But at the same time, there is so much nonsense that the Chinese government imposes on its own population that it's difficult to find that balance. And I think being Chinese is such a political thing nowadays that I'm pretty sure that every Chinese person who is like active online has this experience of like being trapped between two places of like loyalty to, well, your supposed loyalty to the Chinese government and the necessity of taking pride in your heritage to combat anti-Asian racism. And so that is a topic that I tackle in Zacharian, but still this does tackle a lot of complex topics, but at the same time, I wanted to have fun. So this is a love letter to everything that my 12-year-old self liked, which is mainly just Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not like, I'm still really into Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm that kid who's like super into Yu-Gi-Oh! And then after like a few years later when everyone else moved on, I was still into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm still into Yu-Gi-Oh! But you know what, I'm the one with the book deal, so whatever. Whatever. And yeah, I just really hope that the next generation of diaspora will enjoy this book, because that's who I wrote it for. I wrote it for my 12-year-old self and also for the new up-and-coming 12-year-olds who, well, I have a lot of faith in the next generation, because like they are so aware. I talk to teenagers nowadays and they know so much more than I did at their age. I'm so proud of the next generation. But it did take me many years to unpack all the issues that I had with my identity. And I hoped in writing this book, I would do some of that unpacking for them, so that they would have a smoother adolescence than mine, because I didn't have a very smooth teenage years, but still I turned out okay. And believe it or not, I was actually considered like the disappointment of my parents' Chinese boomer friend group. Up until like a few months ago when Iron Widow came out, because all of my parents' friends' kids, they're like accountants, they're like pharmacists, they like went to pharmacy school and then law school. I think they just liked school. I'm not sure what she's doing now. I don't know, Lisa, what are you doing? So I was considered the black sheep, because I was like stumbling through university, not good grades, and by that I mean I got a few B's. Poor grades and no straight A's, never got like any awards or scholarships or anything. So that was me, the disappointment. And then all of a sudden, now my parents are like the weird weird flex people, because they're at their boomer friend groups, and then the boomer friend groups are all like business people, they're like real estate like agents or whatever, and then they're just like, oh yeah, well my kid has like 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, and the boomer friends are just like, okay. But still that they find that like they have to find pride in that, because I'm their only kid, so they can't do anything else. So like, I don't know if that is a good thing. I have heard mixed reviews about having siblings, but I'm just glad that they don't have anyone else to compare me to, because possibly my sibling would probably they would do better than me or be a disappointment. And I don't think I'll be happy with either, because like I would hope that I would have a good relationship with my siblings, but I don't have any, so I heard mixed reviews, yeah. Actually, no. How many of you have siblings? How? Why do so many of you have siblings? How many of you are only kids? Or only children? How? So few of you. What happened? Okay, really? You don't know what an only kid is?
No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not an only kid.
Oh my God, the betrayal. You are an already substantial minority population. So yeah, how many of you enjoy having siblings? Okay, oh my god, that was like significantly fewer hands. I'm concerned. How many of you don't enjoy having siblings? What? Are you serious? Why? Really? Okay. Okay, yeah. If you had me as a sibling, how would you feel? Oh, see, okay. Yeah, I am like adopting all of you as my siblings. Okay, so that is all I have to say because they didn't tell me that I had to prepare a presentation, so let's get it on with the questions.
My question is, do you have any like authors or writers that you look up to or maybe pull inspiration from?
Oh, definitely. My favorite author is probably Laini Taylor. And if you haven't read Laini Taylor's books, please do. Daughter of Smoke and Bones, so good. And her writing is so beautiful, but I also feel like she is a master of tension. Just like she keeps you reading, even though it's so difficult reading one of her books because her writing is so beautiful that you want to slow down, but then the tension is so thick that you have to like keep going. So it's very frustrating, and but it's in a good way. I also really liked And I Darken by Kristen Knight, and I'm actually going to do an event with her in person in San Diego tomorrow, so I'm super excited. I hope I'm not like weird to her. We'll see.
To what extent do you think that your YouTube channel and your book affected each other? Do you think, I mean, 'cause I noticed you, on your first video, you mentioned that you had a book coming out, so it didn't seem like it helped you get the book deal, but do you think that it helped increase the popularity?
For sure, because I've said this on Twitter before, but publishing is really not a meritocracy. And Iron Widow did not get a very good, well, not very good, did not get a very large book deal, and it was only projected by my publisher to be able to sell like a few thousand copies. And this is because publishing has a thing where it's like allergic to sci-fi. It thinks that sci-fi doesn't sell in young adult. And so, yeah, I was not projected to do that well, but then after my YouTube blew up, I was like, oh, hey, if you like my YouTube content, then I have this book. And then a lot of people ended up buying this book, and it ended up becoming #1 New York Times bestseller, which is just mind-blowing to me. And now it's getting nominated for a bunch of awards that I like know for sure it would not have been nominated for if it had never like gotten this amount of exposure. So it actually makes me pretty cynical about the publishing industry because I'm like, I could see the other route that my book could have taken. And it's the exact same text, and yet just because of this YouTube thing, it lived a completely different life. So it's weird to think about, but also, yeah, it's tough, like in this industry, because there's so many books coming out every year, and well, we all have limited time to read, and so like very few books catch people's attentions and become these like mega bestsellers. So I'm very, very honored that people like my book so much that it is. But still, there's so many underrated books that are out there, and I recommend them all the time on my Twitter. And one book that I think everyone should grab right now, it's a new release. It's called Queen of the Tiles. It's by Hannah Alkoff, and I really recommend it because it's like this Scrabble. It's this murder mystery that takes place in a Scrabble tournament in Malaysia, and it's so amazing. Yeah. I love Hannah and her writing. It's just she just like hooks you, and it's so effective. And also her other book, other YA book, I mean, The Weight of the Sky. It's about like the 1969 race riots in Malaysia, and it is just so emotionally gripping, and it made me cry, and I think that like that book deserves so much more attention, just like Hannah Alkoff's works in general. She must be here somewhere. I mean, like her book, she's in Malaysia. She is spiritually here. So yes, definitely support underappreciated authors, all of it, just because it's tough. It's tough.
There's a lot of TikToks, I see them all the time. How long does it take to like prepare and then like actually work?
An embarrassing amount of time, because, okay, have you ever tried filming a TikTok in public? It is the weirdest thing. So like, TikToks, they're just, yeah. Nobody should, I think like, if I ever wanted to tank my reputation and make everybody lose respect for me, I would just like, play a live stream of myself filming TikToks. It's so embarrassing. And a lot of, and I think everybody should go on TikTok with this mindset. Think about like how that took to film. Because like I once, actually I think it was like last night or something, I saw this TikTok of this guy like pouring an entire like jug of syrup on his pancakes or something. And then another person responded to the TikTok like, how did you feel 10 seconds after filming that TikTok when the syrup is all on your counter, dripping onto your floors, and you are on your hands and knees scrubbing? Does it make you feel accomplished? Was it worth it for the 15 seconds of internet fame? And I was like, oh my god, this is exactly how I feel about TikTok. So yes, an embarrassing amount of time.
So Iron Widow had some anime inspiration from Darling in the Franxx and Sakura Ying's Hasugyo.
Yeah.
Any future novels, will they have any anime or donghua influence?
Probably, but I haven't really decided on my future projects yet. And I don't know if I'm supposed to talk to them, but talk about them. But there's one project that I really want to do. I call it Asian Twilight, but apparently after I describe it to people, they're like, that sounds nothing like Twilight. But it's about this girl whose family owns a Chinese restaurant, and then there's this like really popular boy at her school who like turns out to be an incubus, and then he tries to con her into like signing a dark magic contract to sell her soul to like save her family's restaurant. So I get how this sounds nothing like Twilight. But then she's like really mad about this like clearly exploitative contract, so she takes it to his mom, who's like this human rights lawyer. His mom was like, oh my god, I can't believe that he's doing this to you. And then so she secretly used, because she's a succubus, and then she uses her demon powers to like secretly amend the contract so that it locks him into like working for her family's like Chinese restaurant as like a mascot, so he has to dress up as like a chicken and dance around the restaurant. Well, he's like this supermodel with like 8 million followers on Instagram. So this sounds nothing like Twilight. But I call it my Asian Twilight project. So that's a project that I can talk about because it's not on sub anywhere. But that's the next project that I want to tackle. Whether or not I'll actually write it, who knows? But that's my idea.
Personally, I would read that book.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm only a few chapters into Zachary so far, so we got it.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a lot of some of the character names and inspirations are both in Iron Widow and Zachary Yin.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if it is challenging or how you keep the two versions of the characters separate in your mind, how they don't bleed over into each other, or do they bleed over?
Oh yeah, surprise! They're basically like my two books are basically AUs of each other. Because yeah, I was waiting for someone to clock me for writing about like the same three emperors over and over, but I can't help it. They're just my muse. And also, there is only one female emperor. Like, who else am I supposed to write about? Just like I have to have a female emperor, but there's only her. It's like in Catching Fire when like they're picking the female tribute from the winners pool in District 12, and like only Katniss's name is there. So it's like that. And so it's actually pretty easy to balance the two because I feel like I just use different aspects of like the popular conceptions of those emperors because real people, they're so complicated, and so I got to use two different sides of them. And in Zachary Yin, Tang Taizong is has the same historical inspiration as Shiming from Iron Widow, but Tang Taizong is very, very different. So I basically just use another side of Tang Taizong. He has like the kind of like teen douchey personality that he originally had in Iron Widow actually. But so just fun fact, in Iron Widow, Shiming was originally written as like more of this like douchebag type. But I realized very quickly that Zedin would just like kill him so fast. So I had to like really mellow him down. But no, in Zachary Yin, he got to be his like arrogant douche self. So.
Is there any news about Iron Widow sequel?
Iron Widow sequel. Oh yeah, so I am working hard on that. I am. My first draft was due April 1st, 2021. Whoops. Yeah. And but I swear there was a reason. It's because I'm bad at time management. No, it's because because once again, I didn't get paid a livable salary, well, livable advance for Iron Widow, so I had to write Zachary in to like pay the bills. Like, an interviewer asked me, "Oh, why did you start a second series so fast?" I was like, "Money! I got no money, and I have no money now. Don't worry." And, so that is why I had to kick off 2 series at once, and it's not been the best decision because it's a lot of work, right? And I also have my YouTube thing popping off. But I think I am like starting to get better at it. So I have vowed to myself to finish the first draft of the Iron Widow sequel, Heavenly Tyrant, by July 1st, or so help me. And hopefully, yeah, that's probably definitely coming out next year. Yes, but yes, I'm hard at work at it.
So, Iron Widow has polyamory relationship, love it.
Yeah.
What made you decide, like, how did that come about versus, like, that's not, you don't see very many of those kind of relationships in popular media?
Yeah, so that's exactly why I wanted to portray one of those, because I feel like it's such a thing that people want but rarely see. Because I always see people saying, "Oh, how come this love triangle doesn't just resolve in polyamory?" So when I got the idea of Iron Widow, I really wanted to do that because Iron Widow is all about breaking the binary. It's about breaking through gender roles and like breaking through the patriarchy. And then I was like, why don't I also just like break through the relationship binary, or just like what they call monogamy? And honestly, monogamy in this economy, it takes like 7 people to afford a house. So, I don't know, our house is cheaper in Texas. Oh, that was a very resounding answer. Do you blame the Californians? Yes. Oh my God. So, okay, how many of you are Texas natives? Okay, so actually a lot. How many of you, actually no, I'm not going to ask who's like immigrated here because you'll probably get, I don't know, ganged up outside. So, but so you guys don't like the Californians coming over? No. Do you feel like they're gentrifying the place? Yeah. Why? Okay, why are they coming over?
It's already giving
Okay. Okay, yes?
It's because a large section of it is burning down due to forest fire.
Okay, that was a very serious answer.
California. Other companies are moving here. For one, Tesla, Elon Musk is a big company. Like a lot of tax credits for that. Apple's here, Microsoft.
Oh, really? Oh, I only know that Funimation is here, but that's fine. Yeah, when I think about Texas, I'm like, oh, Funimation.
Number 1 city in all the world to move to right now.
What? Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Houston. I'm sorry.
Californians like laugh at our house prices and then buy one.
Oh.
It's the same buy.
Okay, so a 2-bedroom house. How much approximately does that cost? To buy. Oh, rent. I mean like to buy. Only $500,000? No wonder the Californians are coming for you. That costs like $1 million over there. So yeah, you guys are like, yeah. I'm sorry, but yes, I am very sorry about this. Why don't we go to Colorado?
What you said about the tax breaks, those big companies are moving here because there's like no regulations. So that's where the jobs
Yes,
are.
when I heard about that, I was like, oh, maybe I should move to Texas. But then I thought about what I experienced outside, and no, please. Like I ordered. I'm pretty sure, like when I was in my hotel, I ordered an Uber Eats that was like from 400 meters away because I didn't want to go outside.
Is this your first time in Texas?
This is my first time in the American South. Why does that wow you? Yeah.
It only gets hotter and more humid.
Oh my God, no! Please, no. Yeah, and this is May. This is May. Yeah. No, it's 33 degrees. I couldn't believe I was so devastated, and I know none of you know what that means. It's 33 degrees. Yeah, I was complaining about it on my taxi over from the airport, and he was like, 33 degrees. Where are you from? So I think it's approximately like 100 Fahrenheit. Yeah. Isn't that like the temperature at which the water boils? Oh, okay, never mind. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Celsius. I'm sorry. Oh my god, can you imagine? The air is the temperature. Water boils. Oh my god. And oh yeah, so I got out of the airport, and then I thought, oh my god, there's a lot of like car exhaust coming at me, and then I realized it wasn't car exhaust, it was just the air. And that was me coming from New York, so I was devastated. Now, what question was I answering? Oh yeah, housing prices. Wait, no, nobody asked me about housing prices. So yeah, I'm sorry, I love the vibes of Boston, but don't know if I would ever move here, even for the taxes. Well, I don't know, what is the most northern Texas city? Dallas?
The what? What defines city? Do you mean like a place that has good food and is a big city? Or
Oh, I guess. A tolerable liberal place. Dallas isn't that a place where JFK died?
Yes.
Wait, did I hear a no? Wait, I heard a no. Was someone about to be like, no, actually the CIA was like... I'm kidding, he definitely died in Dallas, I think. Yeah, no, but I keep confusing the Texas cities. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Houston. No.
If you go to different ones, you'll be able to distinguish.
Oh, really? You have like different vibes?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the... So...
This is where you want to be. You don't want to go to any.
Oh, really? Houston's great! I heard that Houston was okay. Yeah. Mixed... Okay. You're in mixed reviews.
San Antonio.
San Antonio? Really? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Oh, is there also a thing called El Paso?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. El Paso. Okay, well, so what's going on with El Paso? Is it? Okay, it's dry. Unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. Wait, was this the state where Tiger King was in?
No.
What state was that? Florida?
Oklahoma.
Really? Oklahoma? Okay. Wait, hold on. Is Texas considered like the South? Well, I know it is, but like South as in like, is it like, it's Texas, I know, but it didn't fight in the Civil War, right? Oh, really? Okay, never mind, I don't know my American history, sorry. Yeah, no, actually, oh, so it was, okay, because I don't know my American history. Actually, like last night I was talking to somebody and I was asking about like the history lessons in the American curriculum, and they were like, oh yeah, after the revolution we don't talk about anything else. And I was like, oh, we don't talk about anything after the French Revolution? And they were like, what? And I was like, oh right, America also had one. Why would you talk about the French Revolution when you're in America? Yeah. So yes, when you say the revolution, you refer to the American Revolution. Yeah.
So, I was a history teacher. When I'm finished with this is going on my shelf. What would you think folks do that of the business, what business and history? What would you recommend as a companion book? If there's any nonfiction equivalent to this?
Like for this age range, I honestly don't know. Yeah, because
between there.
yeah, I don't know because I moved here when I was 12, so I was reading all the books in Chinese, and I don't really have any recommendations for like middle grade nonfiction books. But I think there was one nonfiction book about Zheng He's voyages to across like Southeast Asia and to Africa and stuff. So Zheng He is this famous Muslim admiral of Ming Dynasty China. Then he took like a whole fleet of treasure ships. He set out from China according to the emperor's will, and then he brought like so many like trades to like Southeast Asia, and he went as far as I think like Mozambique. It was wild. And I think I'm forgetting the title of this book, but I swear there is a recent like middle grade nonfiction about him. And oh yeah, I feel so bad that I'm forgetting. It's something about like Zheng He's 7 voyages. So yeah, and in Southeast Asia he's known as Chen Ho. I wish I had a blackboard, but yeah, just search up Chinese Muslim Admiral 7 Voyagers and probably you'll be able to find it. So yes, that.
Know about, I guess, self-worth when it comes to creating content and stuff, because I only come from your Mulan video about like a year and a half ago, and people love a lot, and not to say that reviews are low now, that's just how the algorithm is, but I wonder how you are able to not tie your self-worth to views and money when you are creating content, because I think it's hard not to, because you have to make create content to have money to survive, so we're kind of focused on, getting like lots of sponsorships, and I love that you are able to get sponsorships like every video and stuff, but I wonder for you how you go about dealing with that, just not creating content for the sole means of what it is and money, and just professionally, and if it is,
Yeah.
it's totally fine, and also how you, I guess honestly sell yourself to, or I guess accommodate yourself to brands, because mostly white counterparts when it comes to content creation, they will get a shit ton of more money than POC or black content creators.
Yeah, so are you a content creator?
I am.
Oh, okay, what's your channel?
It's called Sweet Play. I go to Stanford University for video game development.
Yeah.
So I just love all of that.
Oh.
Basically.
That's cool. So cool. I love your style. So yeah, for me, I actually do not enjoy working with sponsors. I'm always so annoyed. And sponsors force you to be on a schedule, and I'm not very a schedule person. So probably now that my books are coming out, I'll probably like take way less sponsorships. My last one is like in May, and after that, I don't know if I'll take any more because I'm just like always so annoyed about it. And I guess. I know that like my first few videos are the ones with the most, and recently I think I know that I talk about a lot more niche topics, so I don't expect them to get as many views. And if I ever like want to do a video with a lot of views, I talk about Mulan again. Normally I love making videos about really obscure stuff like this Shang Dynasty warrior queen whose existence was erased from the history books, but she was only confirmed through archaeological records. So something like that is bound to not get as many views as like a roasting of a Disney film. But I'm happy as long as people are like interested in it and are I'm really happy with the amount of views that like these really, really obscure topics get. So yeah, I guess it's just as long as people are finding it, I am happy with it. So, and honestly, YouTube is just my side hustle. Yeah. So my self-worth is not very tied to that. My self-worth is like more tied to my books. So if this book doesn't do well, I don't know what my self-worth will be. We will have to see. So I guess it's that. Mainly it's not taking YouTube too seriously, just because it is so fickle. Like, what I've discovered that doing both YouTube and writing books at the same time is that ultimately writing books is still my #1 thing. YouTube will always just be a hobby for me. It's not something that I would ever think of doing full time, just because it's so finicky, and the algorithm, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, it really does suck. Sometimes I'm like, why did this video get like 800,000 views? And then this other video that I worked so hard on, and I think it's super interesting, it's like my lowest viewed video. What is this? I thought you guys liked cat poems. What is I have accented cinema as a collab in here. Why is this my least viewed video? So yes, anyway, if you guys haven't seen my cat poem video, please watch it. I like that video. I thought it was cute. So I think it was when I was like 15. So this is my origin story as a writer. I was like 15 at an anime convention, and I met this guy who was 23, and this story does not have a creepy ending, I swear. So he told me that he was a writer, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a writer too! Even though that I hadn't actually written anything. I think a lot of like people who like to think of themselves as writers are guilty of this. So after I got home, he was like, oh hey, you should like send me some of your writing. So I scrambled to like write down the first chapter of this like vague fantasy story floating around in my head, and then I sent it to him, and he gave me some feedback. At this point, he found out I was 15 because he didn't know, and he like took a firm step back. back as just in a mentorship position. And I really enjoyed getting feedback, so I kept writing, and eventually I finished that whole novel. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I really enjoyed this. I want to get this published, and I just researched how to get like my books published. And there are 2 steps. You have to get a literary agent, and then your agent submits it to publishers. And it sounds so easy, but it ended up taking me like 7 years. And so yeah, decided at 15, like 7 years later was when I actually got my book deal, and it was, it's rough. So yes.
You started writing Iron Widow. Did it ever occur to you that you'd start inspiring new writers?
Okay, definitely not, but I knew that Iron Widow was going to be something special. When I wrote the first mecha battle scene, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. I love this so much. And I was like talking to all my friends about it, and they were just like, oh my god, okay, fine, we've heard enough about this, because they didn't know that like, the book was going to become a book, and become a thing. And they were just like, okay, yeah, we heard this a million times. And so yeah, I think when I was writing Iron Widow, actually no, the moment I came up with the concept for Iron Widow, I was actually talking with my friend Rebecca Schaefer, the author of Not Even Bones, which you can find right behind there. I actually screenshotted that conversation right then because I was like, this is going to be a thing. I know it. I have faith in this. So I saved the screenshots, and I was like, one day I will look back on this as the like starting point of something that's like legendary. And it was. I like manifested it or something, as the young generation say.
I want to know, you talk a lot about the French Revolution on your Twitter.
Oh,
I do follow your French Twitter, so.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tu parles français?
I put every
No, why do you follow my French Twitter? All I do is speak French on there.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'd like to know, what got you into the French Revolution specifically?
Oh my god, okay, I can't believe I am being like confronted with my online activities. I'm not proud of being obsessed with the French. It's like people ask me, hey, so you really enjoy the French Revolution? I'm like, yeah. And so you like France?
No.
I enjoy the French Revolution the way that you would enjoy a reality TV show. So, literally, they had so much drama. Like, these are supposedly like the smartest men in France at the time, but they are so dumb. And they like have so much interpersonal drama. It's like a season of like Jersey Shore or like Real Housewives. It's like real revolutionaries of the First Republic. It's so entertaining. And I honestly think that schools should talk more about the drama because, like, good God, there's like childhood friends to enemies, and it's just like it's so amazing. Here had this like scary boyfriend who was like this military guy, and his nickname was like the Angel of Death, and his name was Louis Antoine Saint-Just. It's so dramatic, and good God, I'm not even saying this in like a speculative way. Well, Robespierre was like 36 and unmarried, and he lived with 3 women who are unrelated to him. So I honestly don't think he was straight. Like honestly. And also like his scary boyfriend Saint-Just was also like, oh yeah, I am 26 and unmarried, and I love Robespierre. It's like I wish that male friendship ceremonies were a government mandated thing. I think that male friends should be buried together. It's like, okay, Saint-Just, keep pretending to be straight. And it's good because they ended up going to the guillotine in the same little car. And then other ones got chopped off and they got thrown into the same mass burial pit. And so they are together now. But they did it. They ended up getting married together after all.
They were 2 mates.
Yeah. So now you understand my obsession with the French Revolution. There's like that drama going on. And anyway, the way I got into it was honestly, like honest to God, the Phantom of the Opera to Les Mis to the French Revolution pipeline. It's because, okay, I randomly watched the Phantom 25th anniversary musical, and I was like, yeah, it's good. So I went on to watch the Les Mis 25th anniversary recording, and I was like, this is good, except for Nick Jonas. Nick Jonas was like bringing down the entire production. Those of you who have seen that version, you know what I'm talking about. How many of you have seen like Les Mis 25? okay, I see them like musical nerds now. So yeah, Nick Jonas, what was up with that? Like, honestly, you put him on stage with like ramen? Are you serious? So after that, I went on Tumblr and I like looked at a bunch of Les Mis memes, and then these like French Revolutionary figures kept popping up, and I was like, oh, what is going on? So I looked into that, and I just dropped down a rabbit hole that I haven't recovered from yet. So yes, that was it. It was the Les Mis to the French Revolution pipeline.
Follow-up question of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
You ever watch Love Never Dies?
I have, and I took you. So yeah, those of you who don't know, there is a sequel to Phantom of the Opera written by Andrew Lloyd Webber, and it's about. So turns out the Phantom and Christine had a one-night stand at some point, and then they had like a secret love child. But then Raoul thinks that child is his. But then they go. Okay. The Phantom like somehow moves to New York to he starts a circus or something, and then he calls himself like Mr. Y, and he invites Christine and Raoul to come to Coney Island because he's like still obsessed with Christine because he just undid all of his character development at the end of the Phantom. And then stuff happens, and I'm trying to not spoil too. Actually, no, who cares? I just want you guys to know that in the end, the most plausible like thing that happens after the ending is that Raoul and Phantom raise this kid together as co-parents. It's so funny. Like literally, I don't see any other way this like panned out after the show ended. Like because the kids ultimately ended up like recognizing the Phantom as his dad, but then also he's not like abandoning Raoul as his dad either. So he just has two dads, and they live in Coney Island. Yeah, so there was that. Also, there's a 7-minute song between the Phantom and Christine, like just recounting their one-night stand, and it goes into like very explicit detail, actually, again and again, 3 times. Literally, I was like, oh my god.
Child, you can sing that song between him and the Phantom.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole album.
Well, that song is a little concerning, so I try to block it out from my mind. So yeah, the 7-minute one-night stand song is like not even the most concerning song in the whole soundtrack.
It's all a red flag.
I know it's an entire like gigantic red flag, but at least we have awkward co-parent dads. So there. Okay, what? Also, okay, I forgot to mention, but Saint-Just, Robespierre's scary boyfriend, is the inspiration for Enjolras in Les Mis. So now you know.
How do you choreograph the makeup fights? I'm always really curious to be like, I'm like acting them out and drawing them out. I've like tried to write action scenes, but it's so hard to keep straight, but you have like giant robots, right?
Yeah, so the way I do those, I honestly don't know like what happens either. Just like when I start imagining it, actually I do this thing where I kind of like render it like layer by layer as the way I would render like CGI. So at first I have like this basic choreography, and then with each edit pass I add more details. I'm like, okay, now it's rainstorming, so I gotta like add the detail of like rain splattering through the like robot vision where it's like glowing, so it's like rain going through the light. And so I just do that. I render it the detail bit by bit, and then somehow the fights, I honestly don't know how they come to me either. I'm just like, okay, what happens next? What happens next? And I just like think about what they have to use in their environment, and then the moves that each side of the battle have to make. And so I just like do that back and forth the best I can. I also sometimes I watch anime for inspiration because you know anime has really cool fight scenes. And so yes, Dragon Ball Z is a big inspiration for Iron Widow because yeah. So yeah, that's how I do it.
Hello.
Oh,
nice to meet you. And I was actually wondering if you can sign this.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
You have one of these!
Yeah, and I made a TikTok using the Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, where do I even sign?
Just
okay, here.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Sharpie doesn't show up.
No.
Wait, I think it's all good.
It's okay. I know in my heart it worked. Thank you.
So happy about that.
Thank you. I saw when you posted it, I was like, I must buy.
Yeah. Hopefully, they restock soon.
Yeah, I saw that they had already sold out with the main cast together as a bundle. I was like, no.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They sold out so quickly. Hopefully, they learn from that and adjust their inventory. Sarah,
You might like the Westcott series.
Thank you. And here you go. Honestly, I finished that at midnight when my whole household was asleep and I just started screaming.
Oh my god. Yeah, you are an original. This is a first edition. Those are rare nowadays.
So I am back at the hotel, people. It took me a while to get back, but I got my Iron Widow, my Sakura Ying, and my Vermilion Bird signed by Xiran. That was so much fun. Oh my god, I had so much fun. That was so great. The Q&A was amazing. A lot of people were funny and interesting questions, very good spirits. And now I just can't wait to actually start reading this next one because Percy Jackson, even though I haven't read Percy Jackson yet, Percy Jackson with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, why not? And I can't wait for the next Iron Widow book to come out. And I just can't wait to see what Xiran has next in store. Xiran, I hope you have a great remaining time for your tour by the time I probably get this out. And I just can't wait for the next books that you or y'all put out next. So yeah, until then, just gonna enjoy the rest of my night and get ready to head back to Houston in the morning. So yeah, my name is Sarah and bye.